Nice to get off the market. I mean, it was going to happen at some point, but it's always nice to get that first one.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was probably obviously the main focus of the game the other night. Just to give the lads a bit of a boost. I think it's tough. Obviously, the opening games we had, as I've said a couple of times, but to then respond like we did after Ipswich and show some other qualities that I know are going to be important for us. So how we stuck together, how hard we worked. Competing aerially, competing for second balls, etc. That them foundations are what are going to allow us to be a successful team in time.
Good for Bradley Johnson as well. We know his ability. I mean, a great presence as well, and that bit of experience in there too.
Yeah, we'd spoken about it. I think he showed what he's about as a pro, bouncing back from Ipswich to go and deliver what he did the other night. And we'd spoken around Eve playing a little bit lower, allowing Brad to join higher up and land on things. Which if you look at the goals he scored over his career, a lot of them are from in and around the edge of the box, landing on things. So he produced some moments of real quality to ultimately win us the game.
Accrington Stanley, they missed out because of the pitch. They've got off to a decent start to the season, though.
Yeah, tough side. I think I said it last season as well. John's done a terrific job there. When you look at not only the culture, how hard the players work, some of the quality they have, but you also look at some of the players that have moved on, and I'm sure the club has benefited from that aspect financially. So to keep replacing players like he has and recruiting them like they have, is really commendable. So we know it's a really difficult game, a tough game, one that we have to make sure that we're at the level we need to be at to compete, to perform, and to win.
What's been the message to the players just to build on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I think maintain some of the good bits. The togetherness, the fight, the spirit, the being hard to beat at times. That's really important. Then try and add a bit more quality. I think that's the biggest bit when I looked at, especially watching the game back first half, and even at times second half. That there was some good passages of play, but too often we gave up control and shifted the momentum in Port Vale's favour on Tuesday because of our quality, not because of what they did. So the biggest message for us is build on the good stuff, but then just make sure we keep control of the game by taking care of the football.
You changed at half time again. The system is that. Are you going to just do that throughout, depending on what's going on during the match?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I think so much is made of systems. I think it was a decision. Me and Hoggy spoke and Wrighty spoke at half time around what allows us to be successful and kind of get a bit more stability second half. And ultimately, we wanted to play in the front foot a little bit more. It might seem like a defensive change, but it was actually the opposite. We wanted to try and engage higher up the pitch. And bodies in terms of attacking wise. Try and work it so that we can get wing backs higher. So it was to try and get on the front foot, and it's something that the way we work, the way we coach the players. We have our top line principles of how we want to play, and then around that is putting people in slots that allow us to do that. So we'll definitely over the course of games and also the season look at varying changes in system definitely.
When you play a three, the emphasis on the two wing backs is huge, isn't it? You've got some young ones there, so I suppose it's trying to get them that experience in playing that role. It's a pivotal one if you play that system.
Yeah, and referenced it again the other day, especially when you haven't got training, it becomes quite a challenge to actually show them on the grass. So we have to be cute and clever with the time that we do have with them. But again, both of them have played in them wing backs before, Henry and Daniel, and obviously we've got Dan Harvey back soon as well. So when you look at it, it suits them in terms of the physical qualities they've got are terrific. All can attack, but also as you've seen, all can defend as well. So I think how we play it, it suits them and puts them in slots where they can bring their strengths to the team.
What about some of those key injured players? Any news on them? Any chances of them being back soon?
Yeah, there's a couple that'll hopefully be back real soon. So we're optimistic on a few being available fairly soon. So Griggy, Dan Harvey are not a million miles away. Nathan Holland's extremely close as well. And then the other guys behind that, as you guys know, Mo's been out on the grass doing a little bit this week in terms of just some running. And then Josh McEachran, again, is progressing, heading in the right direction. So staggered in terms of stages, which, at times when I'm sure, when some of them come back, it will give the group a boost as well.
What about the striker search? The Athletic, I think, reported that you'd made a bid for Harvey Nibbs of Cambridge. Anything in that?
Nah, look, I think in terms of that, for me, we're doing all the work that we can. It wouldn't be right to sit here and talk around another player's teams or that situation. So we're working real hard. There's a few options that we're looking at that. It's just such a difficult market at the minute. It's so difficult in terms of the volume of players and also the availability. Everybody seems to be looking for strikers and fairly similar profiles. So at the minute it's in house. We're working hard to try and do something, but we're not close yet.
I suppose as well, when supply is short, the price goes up. That's economic. So it could be costly.
Yeah, it's the challenge. We openly say we missed out on a couple earlier in the window that moved either to Championship or to clubs at our level for more money than what was within how we work. So that's where we're at. But again, I think that gives us real clarity of what we're trying to do and how we work. So I think what we can't do is put all the emphasis on one person. We have to make sure that we have a variety of options available. So if option 1 and 2 doesn't come off, we're ready for the next one. So that's the game. I think every club works in the same way now. So we'll put in all our energy, all our resources, and all the spare time we have available, and making sure that we can try and get the right one for the group.
Cool. Thanks, Liam.
Cheers.
We've mentioned plenty of times the hectic schedule that you guys are going through at the minute. I suppose if you win on Saturday, it just goes to show what a difference a week in football can make.
Yeah, it's still so early in the season. There's still so many games to play. I think that's the biggest thing is, it's about not panicking. And we were talking around it. I think it's a lot easier not to get too high than it is to not get too low. I think that's the biggest challenge. And we spoke about that a lot as a group of staff. Having a couple of tough performances, tough results, which none of us want to lose. But it's then how do you bounce back from that? How do you respond? How do you manage your emotions? How do you keep your confidence in a sweet spot? All the things that are required to go and perform and win games. And it's ultimately about sticking together and grinding through it. And the performance off the back of Ipswich was never going to be a free-flowing, perfect, beautiful game for us. It was around we need to get 3 points, we need to dig in, we need to stick together, and we need to produce some moments of quality to win the game, which we did. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's still so early in the year, in the season, that there's lots still to do and play for. For me, the biggest thing at the minute is seeing the group progress.
John Coleman said in his pre-match comments that he actually was quite pleased that you picked up the points on Tuesday night, because it might mean there's a little bit less desperation to try and go out and beat them on Saturday. But I imagine it's just going to be the same approach.
Yeah, every game by game. I think that's the biggest thing is you have to have the behaviours that you need to be successful, and that irrespective of whether you've won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row, whether the attitude, the application, the behaviours, the desperation for points, if you want to call it that, for me is the same. But it's understanding what gets you the points, and that's all then down to performance. It's the work ethic, the heart, the desire, the behaviours that we talk a lot around, and then it's ultimately down to quality, which is for us is paramount in terms of how we go about winning games. So yeah, I think of course the desperation there has to be continuously, just because you want to be the best you can.
I believe we're going to be talking to Henry Lawrence next. What have you made of his performances so far this season?
Yeah, Henry's got progressively better. I was pleased with him on Tuesday. I thought he was the best he's been since he's been with us. I think he's another one. He's shown he can play in League One. He did it well last year, which is obviously why we were keen to get him in. And I think then it's a case of taking a little bit players take different periods of time to settle, to adjust to the group, to adjust to how we work. And I thought he was solid the other night. I was really pleased with his his quality in possession, and also his physical attributes out of possession. So I thought he's in a much better spot now.
And already we've seen him play all the way across that back line. I mean, that versatility is massive for you, isn't it? Yeah,
it's key. I think in terms of when you look at it, I think being able to he can cover 3 or 4 positions. And quite a few of the backline can, which is is really helpful. So he slotted in well, and it's the challenges now, like him for a few of the guys, is to build on that. Get a level of consistency and then progressively improve it.
Awesome, thank you.
As has already been said, it is quite a hectic schedule at the moment in August. Accrington, however, didn't play midweek, so they'll be fit and ready to go on Saturday. With so many games each week, are we expecting a bit more rotation this weekend?
It's a real challenge, that one. I think it's especially so early on with such a new group. We're in that phase, I think, at the minute of where we're looking for a level of consistency, but you also want physical freshness. So it's a real challenge, that one, when we sit down as a group of staff and we talk around the team and what we think is going to be successful. You know, the physical freshness definitely comes into it, but then also, you know, that developing relationships, you know, building on performances, building on results, getting people connected. You know, that's also so important. So for me, it's not a case of just going and changing it because we've got lots of games. You know, I think it's a case of looking at what the games are and prioritising. You know, what's most important for the group at that, you know, that given time for that game. So it's a huge amount of work. It's probably the hardest part of the job is sitting down and, you know, selecting a team that you think is going to go out and be successful.
Accrington have been involved in quite a couple of really high-scoring games, actually. How do you sort of subdue a team like them?
I think just to start with, I think it is behaviours. I think you have to match the fight, match the will to compete, match the desire to attack things and to defend things. You know, show a real, you know, a real eagerness to defend. You know, a desire and a spirit to keep clean sheets and not let, you know, not give up chances and goals. So I think that's the starting point. Then it comes down to the tactical element for me. And again, I think we talk a lot around the organisation out of possession and being hard to beat, but I think a big emphasis for us will be on actually what we do with the ball. I think, you know, with them in terms of, you know, don't give them opportunities to put it in our box. You know, if we can keep it and stop, and we did a good job of that against Sheffield Wednesday when, you know, we watched the game back and looked at the data. We actually, you know, compared to when we played them previously, we cut down the chances a huge amount, a lot from set pieces as well, which we know they're dangerous from, you know, Aki. So I think in terms of from that perspective, if we can manage the game by keeping the ball, then, you know, the moments of having to block shots, having to defend set pieces, hopefully we can cut that down.